Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the Daily Scan for Thursday, September 12th, 2013. Well, we do have some scheduled news events that may be market affecting today, and usually the jobless claims is market affecting. And that's at 8:30. And then import and export prices also at 8:30, and then some other not such a big anticipated impact except for the Treasury budget, and this is where you find out whether how much tax revenue has been collected and pretty much how much has been spent. So that's sort of an interesting report if you ever want to take a look at that. But that's it for today. Let's jump over and see how things are looking across the world. Asia was mixed here, I guess you might say. So there's really was no firm direction across the board in Asia. And in Europe, we're pretty firm in a negative mode here. So looking kind of bearish in Europe right now at lunchtime over there. Let's jump to our futures here. Flat to down a slight bit, and gold tanked. That's a pretty big move down for gold and a pretty big move down for silver as well. And on the oil front, we're looking at 107 right now, which is kind of holding steady. It's like the stairway up for oil prices. You just kind of get used to it. They just keep edging up, and then they pull back, and then they go up a little bit more, and then they pull back, and it doesn't hurt so much then. You know, it's whether you want to bleed to death slowly or if you want to just get it over with, I guess you might say. So I was hoping to get below 105, and then I was praying that we get below 100, but it looks like that's not going to be happening for a while. So that's not good news overall, because there's a lot of industries and businesses that depend on the price of oil. Okay, enough about that. Let's take a look at our account here. Same positions that were in here, still looking pretty good. Yesterday, I got the alert on Tesla, and it's kind of funny because well, maybe it's not going to be funny. I don't know. I'll tell you what I did. Tesla, here we go. I went short on Tesla, basically. When I went to the alert triggered up here, and I looked at it around noon, and I'm glad I didn't look at it here, I'll tell you, because it might have been a little confusing. But anyway, had a very wide range at the open, negative, and here it had a very wide range, positive, and then kind of pulled back a bit. Almost ended at the high of this bar. But yesterday it was pulling back and looking pretty weak, so I went short. I was debating with myself which level to go in, either at the 170 or the 165 for the short, so I went for the 165, obviously, here. And this expires tomorrow, so let's move this to the 14th. So we have about a 50-50 chance right now, based on a standard deviation here, of having this be a successful trade. But we have some other things that are sort of on our side here. Longer term on the weekly, we are looking pretty weak from a momentum perspective, and from a price momentum, or as the stochastic here on the weekly, we're looking kind of down. We're looking down here on the momentum on the daily, and we're below zero momentum on the 1/5 of a day which is basically what these bars are. So we're looking kind of weak there. This little hook here was not there when I went into the trade. This developed in the last fifth of the day. So based on that, I went short. It worked last week. We'll see if it works this week. So that's the only trade that I went into. Yesterday I wanted to take a brief look at gold here, GLD, because of the big down move, and we're going to gap down again at the open here. I wanted to let you know I've identified or put in the cost basis here as 129.66. So I bought this. Basically, this is the price that I paid for GLD minus the credit that I collected with the September call. Now the September call is at 134, so it is currently based on this price here, 129.72, and that's going to be, it's going to open down here almost right at the cost basis. So that's what it, so far it looks like it's going to open right there. So there's a possibility if this continues I don't have to worry about being called out, and then I can look to see if there's something else I might want to do. Now if we're going to be moving down, I'm going to be looking at this today because what are we looking at here? This 231 is currently at 81.5. And that's based on yesterday's price. So today, if it's low enough, I'm going to buy it back and then look to quickly turn around and do a possibly October. And that would be a normal October expiration. So if I was to do that, even at the current price, I'm still looking at collecting another $4.30 at the 130 level. So if I was to do that and buy a 130 call or sell a 130 call, then I would drop my cost basis down to around 125. So that's how that works when you're doing covered calls, just in case you were wondering. These numbers, of course, are not going to hold today, because we're going to gap down at the open. But, maybe I'll do a 129. Well, then if I get called out at 130, I still make $5 on this. So that's not bad for a couple of months on a pretty low risk, the way that I consider it anyway, trade, because you always have the equity to back you up, and we haven't been below, well, I'm not going to say that, we haven't been below this low here, 114.68. So I doubt that we're going to get below that, but yeah, you never know, but the chances are pretty low that we're going to get below that. Alright, so enough about that. Today, when we go through the A+ list, I'm going to be looking for the overnight trades that we can do with an expiration of tomorrow, and we'll be focusing on just a few underlines for that. I'm going to bring this up here so I can see how things are looking. Apple's going to gap up a tad today. There's been a lot of talk about big time traders that have a lot of money that are buying more Apple right now. They just think it's going to go up. I think personally that Apple's kind of run out of gas from the perspective of being the darling of the cell phone world, because there's just not, like, this was not a hit upside the head. their release of the iPhone. I don't think. Of course, I don't have one, so I'm not, and I guess you could say I am not an iPhone geek right now. I do have an iPod Touch that I like very much, but these phones are so expensive. They're just so expensive. I just can't justify it, and I'm not going to pay the. You've heard me say it before. I'm not going to pay the data fees. So anyway, let's get right on with this. Apple looks like it may pop overnight. So when we're looking for these overnight trades, we're going to be focused on the intraday 1/5. We're going to be just focused on this intraday, which I broke up into 5 even spaces to keep my ratio of 5 to 1. So we got 5 to 1 and 5 to 1 over here. So that's why we have, I should have gone this way so it makes more sense. 1 to 5, 1 to 5. That's why we have the 1 to 5 on the stochastic indicators that we have here. Okay, so that we're in sync. Okay, we look like we might have a cycle up here. So I think, in my opinion, that a bull put on Apple would be a good thing to do. And we usually want to do it just like right at the money. So if we were to do that, that's 246. So that's a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, which is another thing that I like to do on these very, very short trades here, is I like to get this 1-to-1. So we're risking 500, but we're collecting 246. So really what we have at risk is 246, roughly. 254 it says here right now. So it's almost a 1-to-1 risk reward. All right. Now let's take a look at Amazon. I don't think there's enough money in Amazon to do an overnight. Probably just like Apple, Google. Who else might we do here? Google, MasterCard, I don't know. Any of these big guys that are like over 250 or 300 bucks. Maybe Chipotle, I'm not sure. But we'll take a look. They have to be the high-priced ones. So we are looking at Amazon right now, and I'm not seeing anything that excites me for an overnighter and a regular next week expiration. We're waiting to hit this target here, so let's move along. Take a look at Baidu. Baidu's right at the top. I don't see anything exciting overnight there. I would like to see it in an uptrend and give me a hook down here of some sort, either midway here or at the 20. Not seeing that. For next week's expiration, I don't see an entry. So we are now looking for a target down here on the normal weekly. Celgene, that's one that I might do an overnighter on. We're looking to hit this target down here. I'm not seeing the... Here we go. That's a better zoom level, I think. We are in an uptrend and we're up here, so I'm not seeing anything there for overnight or even for the weeklies. CF Industries, there's just not enough volume on this particular one to make me interested. Volume meaning open interest to make this a good overnight candidate. So I'm passing on that one. On the daily chart, we are looking for a target down here. Chipotle, we're already in. This was an interesting day yesterday, actually, as we Are you giving me a candle for today already? Oh, by the way, I fixed my time thing. Remember when I mentioned this open? What is going on here? I had to change my zoom level back. Candles weren't looking exactly right, but I was able to fix this 9:30 thing. I did send an email to Thinkorswim, and there is a setting in here. If you go to charts and settings right here, and you will see that there is a time zone here. And for some reason it was changed over to Central. I would never have set it on Central, but it was changed over to Central. I suspect that it was reset during one of the upgrades. So if you were having that problem, this is where you can fix it. Okay. All right, I resumed, go back to my old zoom, and now candles are looking good here. No overnighter on that one. We're in an uptrend. We're currently in, so we're looking for another dip down here. Okay, Google, what do we got going on here? This should be interesting. All right, not liking this for an overnight at all. Still waiting to hit this target here on the daily. So we're going to hold off on that. We won't be doing an overnight on that one. Goldman Sachs. Looking for this target here. Let's take a look at Goldman here for an overnighter. At the money, which is roughly 165, if we were to do a bull put, 97 cents. Not really worth it to me. So we'll take a pass on that one. LinkedIn. Too overextended. Take a pass on that one. Waiting to hit our target here. MasterCard. This might be sort of interesting here. I'm not going to put an alert on these, but I might just be taking a look at them at the open or around 10 o'clock or so. So MasterCard might be good for a overnighter. Where are we looking at here? Looks like it might open down a tad. So if we were to do something at the money at MasterCard, which may be at, maybe at 655. No, we're looking for a bear call here. That's a $1.50 at the 660 level, which is up here. So I don't have any prices over here on the right on this chart, so I'm watching this chart over here. So if it would be here at the 660 level. And we're looking at 658 open, so that has possibilities. And that would be for a bear call. Yeah. Netflix. Oh, this is sweet for an overnighter right here. Let's take a look at that one. So maybe at 300 here on the bullish puttish side. Only 49 cents. And I'm not gutsy enough to do a 305, but let's see what that one's giving us. Only $1.21. Yeah, I'm looking for that $2 or something somewhere around there. Not getting it there. Price line, $981. Price line is at. A little overextended here for an overnight. Waiting to hit our target here to go long on the weeklies. Tesla, we're in. And how are we looking here? A little bit of a hookup here. We'll see what happens today. And we can't really determine here what our open is going to be. Looks like it's probably right about where it's at. On Visa, we're overextended for an overnight and waiting to hit our target for the weeklies. And that's about it for today. I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. So everybody have a good day. We'll take a look at those overnight spreads. And I wish you all very happy trading.